So the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas School Parkland shooting is back. Parkland, Florida shooting is back in the news yet again. It never ends. We're going to review some dates before we get into this article, and let's see if they've put their stamp on this in any possible way. Now, the last time I reported on this was in the case of Sydney A.I. ello, which was obviously, AI, like artificial intelligence, and that story was on 3/22. 3/22, like skull and bones, okay? 3/22/19. Now, Scot Peterson, the lame officer that didn't go in to help, he was arrested on 6/4/19. And that would be, let's see, yeah, okay, right there. 3 months, 22 days, not counting the year. 3 months, 22. So there's a 3/22 again. Another skull and bones insignia. So Sydney A.I. ello story was on 3/22. The officer was arrested on the 3 months, 22 day anniversary there. 3 months, 22 days anniversary. And now I also want you to think about how John F. Kennedy was taken to the Parkland Memorial Hospital. Parkland, like Parkland, Florida, where this school shooting supposedly occurred. The Kennedy assassination was on 11/22/63. So while we type that in there, what do you think is going to come up? Wonder if there might be just, oh, here, we're not going to do that. 1963. And we have yet again 2 months and 23 days. Not counting the years. But think about the number 54 and how important that is. Like the helicopter McCormick that crashed into the 54-story Sheridan in New York recently. How often we see that number. But so they've got skull and bones written all over this. Now in today's story, we have a 14-year-old daughter that was killed, and his father has just learned to shoot. And he now is qualified to carry guns in Florida schools. So 14-year-old, when was the school shooting? On the 14th, 2/14. And from 2/14 to today's story on 7/12, let's go back into here. I'm a little slow on typing. I know some people can really type. I don't know how they do it. 513 days between the shooting itself and today's article. Why is that important? Because look at this. From when the officer was arrested, okay, 3/22. Remember, it was 322 days after the shooting, like we were saying. Well, the officer was arrested on 6/4/19, and that was 135 days, just a changing of this number from the previous lunar eclipse. Nicholas Cruz equals 35. Just like we said that Golden Gate Bridge equals 135. That 135 is extremely important. Why? Because Vesica Pisces consists of those numbers. Let me type that in here, move my microphone. Vesica, I'm spelling it right. I always spell it wrong. Vesica Pisces. I don't even think I can spell it. There it is, 53. Yeah, that's right. I spelled it right. Yeah, so Vesica Pisces is 53, and that is considered the womb of the universe. So why is there a 135/53 on the tail of the helicopter on Bumblebee movie? Well, 135/53, rule of Kal-El, 53 and 54 are only one apart, so it means the same thing. So when the helicopter hit the 54 floor Sheraton in New York, it can also be considered the 53. Okay, it's very, very close. One off means the same thing according to the rules of gematria and numerology. Okay, I'm not making this stuff up. but 53 is the womb of the universe, okay? And there was on the Bumblebee movie, a 13553 on the tail. And on the Bumblebee movie, we saw Optimus Prime and Bumblebee driving across the Golden Gate Bridge, and Golden Gate Bridge equals 135. You see? You see how it's all connected? It's just like a big web. You know, it's hard to follow unless you like slow down. You might have to like actually get a piece of paper, rewind what I'm saying, because I do this. This is why I have hundreds of pages of notes, and then I know this. And you look at it the first time and you judge in 3 seconds. Oh, no, there's nothing to this. Well, yeah, there's something to it, but you have to be smart enough to take notes. You have to be smart enough to rewind. You got to be smart enough to pause. You got to be smart enough to write something down. I've been interviewing somebody right now. Okay, you say this doesn't relate to, yeah, there's a big web. Listen, I'm interviewing somebody right now, okay, who was getting phone calls from McCormick as McCormick was crashing his helicopter into that Sheraton. Okay, he was talking to him when he committed suicide. At first, I thought McCormick didn't exist and this was just a drone. This helicopter was being flown by a drone. But do you see the point of it being a helicopter? Then we saw on the Golden Gate Bridge, the Bumblebee movie, where they were on the Golden Gate Bridge, we saw a helicopter with the 13553. It's a 54-floor Sheraton Hotel, 54 and 53, only one apart. Golden Gate Bridge, 135, 54, 53. Vesica Pisces is the womb of the universe, 53, okay? The Golden Gate Bridge, like the Golden Gate in Jerusalem, is where Jesus walks through when he returns, right? It's a representative of the new birth. It represents a womb, a new birth, a new coming, okay? That's why on the I Pet Goat 2 video, you've got the Antichrist with a bunch of fish. The fish is just a symbol of Vesica Pisces. It's an incomplete Vesica Pisces, okay, but it's the same symbol. Fish represent the Vesica Pisces, represents the womb of the universe. And you see the Antichrist coming through a vagina right there, right before he wakes up and suddenly has all this power given to him, you know, and creates all this destruction and destroys all these businessmen and all that, if you go back and watch the iPad Go 2. So that's how it all relates. Okay? Can't make this stuff up. I mean, but you do have to learn it. You have to be a little bit intelligent, because there's going to be some people who say, none of this stuff's connected. But there's a lot of people who aren't all that smart. I mean, Nicholas Cruz is 35, Here's the shooter at the Parkland, so the supposed shooter, Nicholas Cruz. See, 35 in septenary. You see that? And that's not an accident, okay? He's part of this. He's part of this. He's part of what's going on here. It's part of the riddle. Okay. You might even remember how 722 is important in all this. There was, from the previous lunar eclipse before Officer Peterson was arrested, it was 722 days between the two. And the Golden Gate Bridge is 227 meters high. And think about all the 17s. We said that the Parkland shooting was 17 years after USS Cole, in which 17 people died on both events. And let's see. Yeah, I didn't write my notes too good. There's another 17 on there, but I'm not sure what I meant by that. You gotta love it. You gotta love it when you can't read your own writing. Alright, so, yeah, and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School was 117, I think I typed that in right here. Look at that. See, 117. So the 17s are an important number because kill equals 17, you see. And I think I covered it all for today. So, well, thanks for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe.